Linux is one of the operating systems that is widely used by cybersecurity professionals, and understanding Linux will greatly help you in your career in cybersecurity. So I can give you with some certain examples. So the reason why Linux is very popular is because it's open source. The flexibility that Linux provides, because you can customize different things. So all of this factor in why Linux is important for cybersecurity. So for example, if I want to do defensive security where I want to protect certain machines, so most of the servers, the applications that you use to protect these machines like firewalls will be mostly on Linux. So understanding Linux will help you configure these systems so that you can protect them. Also configure these systems in the correct way so that these systems will be able to protect other systems that are behind it. For example, is the firewall here. Also, one other advantage that you get with the Linux is its command line power. And most of the tools that you use for, let's say, for pen testing or incident response, whatever that you're doing in cybersecurity, most of these tools will have a command line element to it, and some of them only has a command line element to it. So understanding Linux, understanding how to work with the command line also becomes helpful. Another aspect here is scripting and automation, because there are some tasks that you do repetitively every day, and it's always good if you know how to automate these tasks, and that is where scripting languages like Bash or Python comes into picture. Then from an offensive security perspective, many of the tools that you see in penetration testing or incident response, all of these specialized tools are available. Most of them might be Linux native, or they will be available for Linux where you can use them. And this is where popular Linux distributions like Kali Linux or the Parrot OS comes into picture. So you can basically use these Linux distributions to streamline your work because you have access to all the tools that you need to perform these activities. So this is where Linux comes into picture, and since most of these tools depend upon Linux, knowing Linux, understanding how to manage Linux becomes important. One advantage that we get with Linux is the command line power that you get. Most of the tools that you use will be command line tools or CLI tools, and this is where you can use scripting languages like Bash or Python to automate some of the repetitive tasks that you're doing. For example, if I want to scan a system for vulnerabilities using a tool like Nmap, I can basically write a Bash script to automate this task across different domains or different IP addresses. So there is a lot of flexibility that you get if you understand Linux thoroughly. So whenever I'm doing an application security or a network security assessment, I usually have to run certain tools, a certain number of tools together, one after the other. So in those cases, knowing scripting actually helps me to automate that entire process, where I just write a script with all of these different tools being executed in a particular order, and finally I'll have the result. So the next time I want to do this repetitive task, I just have to rerun my script that I've created, which will greatly reduce the time that I need to work on all of it.